Hi guys, today we'll see how to call Apex class in Lightning Web Component using an Omniscript. So for today we will work with this Apex class that we call in the Omniscript. We use two methods to display the list of contact or the list of contact of in the org with Lightning Web Component. So I have this Apex class that we will call with a remote action. If you can note, we implement the Vlocity open interface tool, and we have the invoke method that take the method, the input, the output, and the options. And then if the method that we call is get contact, we call the function get contact with this parameter, and then the method get contact just select all the contact in register in the org and put the value in the output map that contain the result that will be returned to the Omniscript. So let's create a simple Omniscript to see how to call this Apex class, this method in the Omniscript, and display the result in a Lightning Web Component. So firstly, what I want to do here is let's create a new Omniscript that we call remote, and then as type we can also call is remote. Just add here remote 1 and let's save. So in the first way that we can call, because we will display the list using a Lightning Web Component. So let's firstly add a remote action here. The goal of this remote action, where it is remote action, I can add a remote action here before the first step, and here I can just call it get contact list. This remote action will return the contact list, and we call define account. So let's go to the remote property and let's add this. This is the class name, and this is the method that we want to call. So now in this step I will just call this display let's put here result, for example, and the step we call here display record wait Lightning Web Component. Okay, here is Lightning Web Component. So before add the Lightning Web Component input, let's go here in the, so this is the Lightning Web Component that will call this Apex class. So this is the Lightning Web Component that we call display custom metadata. So if you note here, I have two data table in the template, two Lightning data table in the template. The first one called the Apex class in Omniscript and display the result inside a Lightning Web Component, and the second one called Apex class inside Lightning Web Component using remote action. So these two variables have a different value. Let's go to the Javascript So as you know, if you want to make a communication between Lightning Web Component and Omniscript, we have to extend the Omniscript based mixing component, and we also have to import the Omniscript based mixing, the namespace, and here we also have the Omniscript action common utility. Here I have the label of the data table. I have all the column of data table, and here is the file name. So this variable contains all the metadata available in the Omniscript. So in my connected callback, what I do first is just to create a new variable action utility class, and you will note that here in the Omniscript result, I just call this value json data result, because this variable will contain all the contact returned by the remote action that we call first, and then I just display this. And I also call this method call remote action. This method will call the remote action directly using Omni remote call, and you can note this. You take two parameters, the parameter and the remote. So in the parameter, in the input, I just pass all the JSON available, all the JSON data of the Omniscript, and then the class name is find helper and the method is get contact. So when the call is okay, I will save the data in data Lightning Web Component. This is the response value that can be displayed in the log and in case of error. So if we return here, for example, where it is here, just let's add new Lightning Web Component. So here is Lightning Web Component, and we'll add this display data table, the custom Lightning Web Component created by us. So now I can, if I go to preview, remember that I can't see the value of the Lightning Web Component just because we can't preview a Lightning Web Component, but you can see that the remote action return the list of contact. So to be sure that all works well, let's activate this version. Okay, so now that it's done, I can go to how to launch and just copy this. So let's place this here. So this is the result, and you can note that we have in the first the record call with Omniscript using remote action, and here is the result of record call by Lightning Web Component. So this is how you can call a remote, you can call Apex class in a Lightning Web Component.